welcome back to Ball Draw. The Champions League final is upon us. We have Real Madrid in the Champions League final for what must be the 10 millionth time in their history against Marco Reus and his final appearance for Borussia Dortmund.
But before we talk about that, let's appreciate the new setup. Look how chill we are now. Ditch the old lady chairs, got a sofa.
It's lovely.
So, yeah, let us know in the comments down below.
Is it a vibe?
Is it a vibe, and who should be sitting right in the middle? Right, Champions League final. We've got Champions League royalty in Real Madrid.
Yes.
And Dortmund, who have had a pretty kind of up and down season. Not great. I think they finished 4th in the Bundesliga. So, what are your kind of first takes? And then I've got some topics to talk about.
For me, it's going to be difficult to look past Real Madrid picking up their 931st Champions League.
We just kind of said, really, didn't we, that side, the Real Madrid side of the draw, whoever was going to come out of that draw, be it Man City, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Bayern,
they were going to be the heavy
That
favourites.
side is so much stronger than the PSG, Atletico, Barca, Dortmund side.
Yeah, I mean, I would have given all the other three teams that side of the bracket probably a better chance of beating Real Madrid than Dortmund.
Yeah, probably, to be fair.
But Dortmund have beaten...
Proven...
They've got there through their pedigree.
They're proven, why they're there.
They played brilliantly against PSG, yeah. So it's interesting, and I would love to see Borussia Dortmund do it.
So would I.
I would love to see it. I mean, they're a club who, back in the day, when we were growing up, they had Marco Reus, they had Mario Götze, they had some...
Lewandowski,
yeah, Hummels. They had fantastic players.
I mean, they've still got two of those.
Piszczek.
Yeah.
They had some fantastic players.
Blaszczykowski.
Yeah. They were just sort of such a fun sort of indie club to like and support. And they also represent the branding of Ball Draw in the colour scheme.
They do indeed.
They do. So we've obviously got to back them. But yeah, I find it so difficult to look past Real Madrid. I mean, it's not even the strongest Real Madrid team ever. But the players in there are just different.
It's
gravy.
clutch, and they've got a clutch manager. We'll talk about that first then. So Ancelotti, his Champions League record stands above everybody else's. So there's Pep Guardiola, Bob Paisley and Zinedine Zidane who have won it 3 times. Carlo Ancelotti's won it 4 and could potentially make it 5.
Yeah, he looks likely to make it 5.
Why is this guy not in GOAT conversations?
Oh, he definitely is.
I'm not hearing enough respect on his name.
He definitely is. I mean, you have the conversation of greatest Premier League managers when you talk about Ferguson and Pep and Wenger and Jose and whatever, and you have that you broaden it out to Cruyff and I don't know, Zidane even gets involved in these. But I mean, Ancelotti's done it everywhere he's gone to, apart from Everton.
And he was even quite good at Everton, to be fair.
And so for me, he's got to be well in the conversation.
If he makes it 5 Champions Leagues, that's a joke.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I can't. It's ridiculous. His performances wherever he goes are unbelievable, and the way that he goes about managing is so different to a lot of players.
I think you hit a nail on the head there. A lot of managers these days, especially, they have such a tactical mindset, like a narrow tactical mindset that they can only achieve with certain players,
and they play. The system is what brings success.
Whereas Ancelotti goes into a squad, sees, you can do that. I can't do this with you, but I can do this with you. And he tailors his tactics to his squad, which is such
it's almost semi-old
unique.
school.
Yeah, it's old school, it's unique. And in this day and age, he's got to be one of the last and best managers to be kind of so switched on that he can be so adaptable. He's so good.
Yeah, I completely agree. He talks about how you've got to let your players play football.
100%.
You will only get the best out of them when you give them that freedom. We've seen people say that Pep doesn't give his players enough freedom. They've got to play within his system. He draws the fun out of the player. Rarely ever do we watch players beat people now.
100%. It's like the demise of Jack Grealish.
That's what Ancelotti wants his team to do. He wants his players. He wants his very best players to go out there and enjoy what they do and put on a show. And he reaps the reward from it because he has that faith and that trust in his players. You look at how wherever he goes, the players love him.
Yeah.
They would run through walls for him because he lets them be footballers.
Yeah, 100%.
And he's such a coup for any team that can get him. And for me, that's the main reason he's got to be in the the GOAT conversation.
100%, and he's such like an other end of the career to the Dortmund manager Edin Terzic, who is like very early in his career. I think he's just won like a German Cup with Dortmund, so completely like different scales of the end of the scales for and systemic manager in terms of experience. One of the biggest storylines in the match is obviously Marco Reus calling time on his Dortmund career after 12 years. And then, not to overshadow him, Toni Kroos has also announced that he's retiring. So it's two pretty mammoth names in the game, in the German footballing game.
Yeah, I mean, Marco Reus is
428 first team appearances.
Just an absolute legend.
Yeah.
Not just at Borussia Dortmund, but
he's a cult classic. Yeah,
with football fans around the world. A man who's been touted for so many moves. When the likes of Götze and Hummels and Lewandowski have all left to go to greener pastures, he's one that's stuck by this team. And I think it would be just one of the great footballing stories if he can end his time at Borussia Dortmund with a Champions League.
Yeah, it'd be so good
to take that back to Signal Iduna Park and be able to parade that for one.
Well, you
last
saw it
time.
on his last Bundesliga game. He scored a free kick, which was pretty sick. But
yeah, and then Toni Kroos as well.
Toni Kroos, what a name!
What a legend!
Yeah,
what an absolute.
I think he kind of gets like forgotten about with the likes of Xavi, Iniesta, Sergio Busquets, even Luka Modric. I think because he won the Ballon d'Or, gets more plaudits than Toni Kroos. But Toni Kroos has been at the top level of football for yonks, mate. Probably like best part of a decade.
100%. And he went to Real Madrid and he's won everything there is to win. I mean, an incredible player. Generational. He's completely generational.
100%.
And people were talking about this, like, he should sit at the table with the likes of Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, Modric, Pirlo, those sort of, that essence, that class midfielder, because he is certainly in that bracket.
100%. You saw in, I can't remember what, I think it was a game against Man City. He played like the most outrageous through ball to Vinny Jr. or to Rodrigo. And he's still like, even at, I don't know how old he is, like 35, 36. Yeah, it's so good.
They age like fine wine because he was never about beating people. Yeah. He never relied on speed or strength. It was all purely
that just going to be a good manager in the future.
100%. I mean,
nice slow midfielder.
I mean, his ability to read the game, to see the game so differently from other people, to see plays happen before they've even begun to transpire on the pitch, is what sets him apart. And he could easily go on to do it for another 5 years.
100%
at the top level.
Let us know in the comments, who are you backing? What German are you backing? Marco Reus or Toni Kroos?
But what someone else on the another storyline that's transpired is Jude Bellingham
versus Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
We've gone from the battle of the Germans to the battle of the English.
Well, Jude Bellingham going back to the club that he left for, Real Madrid.
100%, this is huge.
He could steal away any potential glory from that club and be the killer that we know he is.
Jude Bellingham's had a crazy season. It petered off a little bit towards the end of the season because there was a point in the season where he was more goals than games. Yeah. But it petered off a little bit, but he still picked up the La Liga with Real Madrid. And
his game was never really about him being a prolific forward. I just think his adaptability on the pitch, he could play like anywhere through that middle, even up to like a number 9 at times.
It's like, at Dortmund, they had better forwards than him, so he played deeper. But at Real Madrid, they've got better, deeper midfielders than him, so they push him forward. Where do I prefer him? I think further forward.
You think like as a 10? Yeah,
I think he is like Frank Lampard-esque in his kind of IQ of when to arrive in the box and how to finish. His finishing ability for someone that's played pretty deep his whole life is so good. So I'd play him further up.
It's nice having someone further up the pitch who is fantastic at contributing that way, but also being able to get involved physical, like being able to tackle, being able to win the ball high up the pitch, being able to be an out ball as well, because he's a tall player. Do you know what I mean? He's physical, he battles away, which sometimes with a 10, they're more technical, they don't want to be involved in that side of the game, they want to just find this pockets of space and create the space for themselves to operate in.
100%.
So yeah, it's nice. But I think I prefer him slightly deeper. Making those bombarding runs forward.
And he's taking on England compatriot Jadon Sancho, who absolutely well documented that his season has been an absolutely shambolic one, falling out with Erik Ten Hag. But he got his loan move back to Dortmund, where He was absolutely flying, got himself the near £100 million move to Man United.
Yeah.
And he's kicked back on. I think in the 2 semi-finals against PSG, he was man of the match both times.
He was absolutely outrageous in one of the games.
So he seems to be refining his form.
He's a player that would thrive under someone like Ancelotti.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have to play in the system. You give him the ball and he has that confidence and just say, Jaden, go out there and beat people. Go out there and play like you would play in the cages, like in the five-a-side.
100%. He's one of those players that I think he needs a manager with good people skills. And I think as much as like whatever can be said about Ten Hag, I think he's quite cold and
he's
not very like...
He's a disciplinarian, isn't he?
Yeah, so I don't think him and Jaden really are a match made in heaven. Whereas I think, at his time so far at Dortmund, he's looking good. I think he could be one of Dortmund's star men in this game.
I mean, it's going to take a real performance from one of those Borussia Dortmund players, like a Champions League all-time performance.
Well, let's talk about this Dortmund lineup then. So in goal, Kobel. Centre-back pairing. I think Dortmund have had probably the best centre-back or kind of defensive line in the Champions League. Obviously, 2 clean sheets against PSG. Schlotterbeck and Hummels, who are really good. Ryerson on one side.
Not in the German Euro squad.
Is he not?
No, I don't believe so. I think Schlotterbeck is, but I don't think Hummels made it.
And then Ian Maatsen, who's on loan from Chelsea, who looks really good.
Last season at Burnley.
100%, yeah. So that's nice little back line. And then Emre Can and Sabitzer in the midfield.
I mean,
with
Emre Can, come on, mate.
Yeah.
Baller.
There's so many, like... And I guess that comes with, like... We get, like, Premier League privilege and, like, all the good players come to the Premier League, and then players that don't make it in the Premier League kind of go to other leagues. But, like, Sabitzer had his time at Man United, kind of semi-flop, semi-didn't.
Right,
bit part. Emre Can kind of semi-did his thing at Liverpool, left. Jadon Sancho didn't do his thing at all. Ian Maatsen is another one. These are all kind of bit part players that have had time in the Premier League, not done it.
I mean,
but
Chelsea
now in
could
Champions
have
League
done with
final.
a left back like Maatsen this season.
100%. So in front of Chan and Sabitzer, you got Julian Brandt. One side, Jadon Sancho. The other side, Karim Adeyemi.
Yeah, Karim Adeyemi, really exciting player.
And then up top, Nicholas Füllkrug.
Yeah.
It's a nice team, to be fair.
It's
but
just,
like I said, there's
solid.
no like standout players. You'd probably pick out Sancho and Adeyemi as the danger men.
Yeah, Ian Maatsen as well, though, could really prove some... he's so good going forward.
Yeah.
So good going forward. And having that extra player who can whip a ball in to someone like Füllkrug, who's really...
Yeah, that finish against PSG was disgusting.
He's a big player. He could prove detrimental to them, yeah.
And then against them, they got Real Madrid. So Courtois is back, but I don't know if they're going to play him. It'd be interesting.
It would be harsh on Lunin. I think he's done quite well.
Yeah, 100%. So Lunin in goal, a defensive duo of Nacho and Rudiger. Right back, Danny Carvajal. Left back, Ferland Mendy. Don't mind any of those. I think that's an all right line. And then you got Tchouaméni, Toni Kroos and Fede Valverde in the midfield with Jude Bellingham in front of them. And then up top, Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo. Yeah,
the little diamond in midfield where it just allows Bellingham to play as a 10 and move into a false 9, depending on how narrow the forwards you are. But, I mean, Vinny Jr.,
I've had him on Ballon d'Or shouts for a while now, and I think if he wins the Champions League, I think he's so good.
The only thing that would stop him winning the Ballon d'Or for me is if Bellingham wins the Euros.
Yeah, that's true.
If Bellingham wins the Euros... But Vinny Jr. is so different.
He's like a game breaker, man.
When do we get to the part where we compare him to Neymar? Is it too soon?
He's just so like on the ball. I don't think he's not
sexy, as silky,
as Neymar. But like in the final third, he's so much more decisive.
He is the only one in the world, I think, who competes with Kylian Mbappe in terms of explosiveness and directness.
Yeah, I think them two are clear.
Yeah,
maybe Haaland.
Haaland's not in the conversation.
I don't think he's in the conversation. No,
I don't think. But it'd be interesting to see.
Right, let's do a combined 11 of these two teams. Then in goal, we got Kobel or Lunin. We won't do Courtois.
I think Lunin's been really good.
Yeah, so do I. I think he's state to claim for that spot. Right. Let's do centre-back pairings. So we got Rudiger, we got Nacho, we got Schlotterbeck or Hummels.
I'm going to go Schlotterbeck and Rudiger.
I'm going to go Hummels and Rudiger.
You think?
I think Rudiger's a shoo-in. I think Rudiger, during his time at Chelsea even, was one of the best centre-backs in the world, I'd say. He's a little bit hot-headed. But I think he uses that in his game. He's a bit of a nutter.
Well, Rudiger and one of those would have been Germany's centre-back pairing, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe I think it's going to be Schlotterbeck because Hummel's in the squad. But
Right, let's go Schlotterbeck. We'll go Rudiger and Schlotterbeck. Right back, we've got Ryerson or Danny Carvajal.
Carvajal, I think, might be a little bit past it.
I think so. He is a walking yellow card.
Yeah, but he's just solid for them, isn't he? They don't ask much from going forward.
I like Ryerson though.
Yeah, let's get Ryerson in there.
Ryerson, and then Ferland Mendy versus Ian Maatsen, and I think that's quite tight.
That is tight. I think Ian Maatsen has been absolutely outrageous. But
I think so.
I struggle to look past Ferland Mendy because I think he's one of the best in the world.
I agree, but I really like Ian Maatsen.
Let's get Maatsen in there.
Let's go Ian Maatsen. Right, midfielders. So this is a tricky one because there's so many different midfielders and so many different ways of playing them. We'll go for a deeper one. So you got Emre Can, you got Tchouameni, you got Kroos, you got Camavinga even.
Tchouameni.
Yeah.
I struggle to look past Tchouameni.
I think he's so good.
One of the best in the world.
Yeah. And then with him, we're going
We're going for a midfield 3, so we go one deep, two
kind of a bit more in front.
Yeah.
Tony Kroos, do we give him the dues because he's retiring?
Modric.
We haven't even got... Yeah, we've got
Valverde.
Modric, Valverde.
For
Where do
me,
we play
this
Marco
is all
Reus?
about Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone in that Borussia Dortmund team in the midfield who gets near that Real Madrid.
No, I think
Like
even
5.
Real Madrid's like reserve ones are better.
Yeah. I'll go... Let's go Kroos.
Kroos and Jude.
Let's go Kroos and Jude, yeah.
Kroos and Jude. Left wing, Vinny Jr. Not a discussion. Oh, Adeyemi is good though.
But Vinny Jr. is different.
Clear. Right wing, Jadon Sancho or Rodrigo. I like Rodrigo.
I mean, I don't see how you can pick Sancho over Rodrigo. I would like to.
Yeah, I think it is
Based
Rodrigo.
on the last couple Champions League performances, Sancho has been the difference maker. But Rodrigo is levels.
And then up top, Fulkrug. You could even put Marco Reus up top. Hosselu.
Let's go Fulkrug.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless you go with Jude in a false 9 with Valverde or someone.
Maybe.
Let's for the sake we'll go Fulkrug.
Fulkrug up top.
Yep.
Let us know your combined 11s in the comments down below. And before we round up, Luke, what is your Champions League final score prediction? Who's taking home the big one?
I fancy Real Madrid to go 2-0 up and then Dortmund get a late goal around the 75th minute, make it a little bit interesting, but it's not enough. Real Madrid to win 3-1.
Real Madrid to win 3-1. I like it. I think a sensible man would put money on Real Madrid to do it.
I am a sensible man.
But we've seen, even most recently with the FA Cup, Manchester United against Man City, the sensible man would have said Man City. But we're not all sensible men. I think it's one for the ages.
Yes, I hope so.
I think it's 0-0 for a long, long time. Marco Reus comes on, scores the winner, and it's 1-0 Dortmund.
If that happens, I'll cry.
It's one for the football. It's one
Will
for
you be wearing your Dortmund shirt?
I will. I bloody well will.
It's just...
One for the history
It's
books.
time that someone leaves football with just a beautiful story like that. It doesn't happen often, but if one player deserves to happen to, it's Marco Reus.
100%.
Yeah, my heart wants Dortmund to win. I just struggle to look past Real Madrid with my sense.
Too many killers, yeah.
Too many killers. Yeah, let us know down below your score predictions. Will Marco Reus be able to do it for his beloved Dortmund? Only time will tell.
Hope you enjoyed. Yep, let us know your predictions, your combined 11s, all that good stuff. And stay tuned because we've got episode 100 coming out very soon.
Yeah, check it out. Check us out on YouTube,
Spotify, Insta, Twitter,
TikTok.
all the good stuff.
Yeah, classic football shirts.
Use the code BallDraw10 plus our referral link in the description. All you have to do is scroll down, click that, put the code in, bish bash bosh, 10% off, and we get a little kickback, which is bloody lovely.
Yeah, get your shirts in time for summer because it is football shirt season. There's no better time than to get ready now. Get your England shirts before they inevitably sell out during the Euros because you know it's going to happen. So get in there early, secure a nice little England shirt for yourself.
Let us know what you think of the new sofa. It's bloody comfy, mate.
It's lovely, mate. But yeah, anything else?
That's all good.
And it's live.
Bye-bye.